Under a towering banyan tree, I sit in silence, awaiting the presence of the Buddha. As evening descends, he approaches. His steps measured, his gaze calm, as though the universe dances quietly within his knowing eyes. The disciples form a semicircle, each carrying questions that whirl like restless winds in the recesses of their minds. Buddha begins. His voice soft yet unwavering, resonating with the wisdom of ages hidden in his quiet demeanor. Consider the blooming lotus, whose roots burrow deeply into the muddy water from which it first emerges. He instructs us, though the mud surrounds its base, the flower itself ascends gracefully, untouched by the grime beneath its delicate petals. Letting be, not letting go, is the way of the lotus. To recognize, yet not resist, that which cannot be changed. Once, when wandering amidst villages, I encountered a farmer whose ox had fallen ill. Unable to carry his plow forward, I watched as his frustration grew, cursing the rains, blaming his tools, lamenting his fate. Buddha narrates patiently. This man, absorbed in anger, saw only disaster, failing to notice the fertile field that awaited his attention. The earth does not protest its storms, nor does the ocean resist the waves. They endure and continue on their path. To let be is to accept the mud and rain, not as enemies, but companions, within the circle of existence. One disciple interjects, asking hesitantly, "Master, what should we do when suffering appears insurmountable, consuming our days like an unending storm?" Buddha nods, his serene expression unbroken, his answer clear like sunlight piercing morning mists after a long, dark night. The storm ends not through denial, nor by clinging to its edges, but by observing its unfolding without resistance or grasp. He extends his hand, gesturing to a nearby lotus pond, its surface shimmering with the golden hues of the approaching sunset. See how the water reflects the sky above, cradling leaves that fall gently to its surface without complaint. He remarks. The reflection reveals acceptance and clarity. It mirrors existence wholly without separation between what is and what may be. In understanding this, do not seek escape from hardship. Instead, seek to embrace the entirety of life without expectation or fear. Letting be does not demand surrender nor submission. It invites harmony between the self and all that rises and falls. A fisherman casts his net without assurance of bounty, yet his patience and trust nourish his work. Regardless of its result, the disciples listen intently as Buddha's teachings carve pathways through their minds, his parables sowing seeds of wisdom into their hearts. Another asks, "Master, can this lotus-like acceptance coexist with ambition? Or must desires and dreams be abandoned entirely to find peace?" Buddha's calm gaze softens as he responds, his words carrying the weight and gentleness of dewdrops landing on green leaves. Ambition, like the river that carves valleys in the earth, flows naturally, but excessive force can erode rather than nurture. Ambition must be tempered by mindfulness. The roots of the lotus never surpass their strength, for balance preserves growth. Desires arise and fade like seasonal rains, yet they need neither control nor avoidance to enrich the soil below. Letting be recognizes ambition as neither fault nor virtue but as a current flowing through the wider ocean of life. Growth emerges from this awareness, from seeking not perfection but acceptance of imperfection and understanding beyond the veil of fear. Buddha pauses, allowing silence to settle over the gathering. As the disciples absorb his words like thirsty soil under gentle rain, the moon now rises, casting silver light through gaps between branches, illuminating Buddha's face in radiant stillness. Reflective and wise, one last disciple ventures to ask, "Is it not painful to embrace the chaos of life as it is?" "Master?" The Buddha smiles faintly, his voice tender. embodying warmth that shields without breaking the piercing chill of uncertainty. Pain is not the weight of chaos, but the resistance against chaos. A tension born of expectation unrealized within fleeting moments. Letting be transforms chaos from adversary into a profound teacher. An opportunity to unveil reality as it is, raw and unfiltered. Accept life's dance without imposing rhythm. Meet change like rivers meeting distant oceans. Knowing that union lies beyond control, the lotus rises above its muddy water not by rejecting its roots, but through harmony with its origins. Reaching for sunlight. As his teachings conclude, our hearts feel lighter, as though wisdom has gathered within us like glowing embers ready to ignite. We bow before him in gratitude. The evening breeze stirring leaves that drift slowly toward the earth in soft, quiet surrender. Time moves gently alongside Buddha's teachings, and his lessons resonate like echoes traveling through chambers within the sanctuary of our souls. Another day begins. As the sun rises gently above the horizon, painting the sky with hues of amber and gold, Buddha walks along the banks of a crystalline stream, his robe billowing softly in the morning breeze. Disciples follow closely, their footsteps echoing in harmony with the rhythm of nature surrounding them in quiet serenity. The stream flows steadily, its surface glimmering with light, its waters carrying pebbles and leaves toward unknown destinations. Buddha pauses, gesturing toward the flowing water, his eyes reflecting the depth of wisdom gained from endless contemplation. Behold the stream, Buddha begins, his voice calm, resonating like ripples spreading across water touched by a soft breeze. It moves ever onward, embracing its burdens, carrying debris alongside its clarity, merging both without resistance or complaint. Life resembles this stream, he continues, his gaze tracing its path, his words heavy with meaning yet light in tone. One day, I crossed paths with a woodcarver lamenting his broken tools, his mind burdened by frustration and sorrow. He cursed the gnarled tree he could not shape, failing to notice the rich grain hidden beneath its rugged surface. Like the stream, to let be is to carry life's burdens while remaining unattached to their weight and consequence. Disciples nod, listening intently as Buddha's teachings unfold like melodies sung by the wind moving gently through ancient forests. Letting be does not demand resistance, it invites acceptance, Buddha explains, gesturing to a fallen leaf floating aimlessly downstream. The leaf does not battle the current, nor does it cling to memories of the branch from which it fell. To accept impermanence is to recognize the transient nature of joy and sorrow without allowing either to cloud perception. One disciple speaks hesitantly, asking, "Master, how can one live fully without being consumed by attachment to fleeting moments?" Buddha turns toward him, his expression soft, his answer flowing smoothly like water cascading over polished stones. To embrace life is to cherish its moments without binding oneself to them, for they are the stream's passing currents. To live fully is to celebrate existence while understanding that every ripple dissolves and reappears, ever changing in its infinite journey. Buddha kneels by the water, running his fingers along the stream's edge, observing reflections distorted by ripples and movement. Reflections deceive the eye, creating illusions of permanence, but the stream itself moves endlessly, carrying change within its depths. Letting be requires one to see beyond reflections, beyond attachments, accepting the reality that lies beneath fleeting appearances. Another disciple interjects, "Master, can this truth bring happiness to one whose life feels perpetually weighed down by sorrow?" Buddha's voice softens, his tone carrying both empathy and clarity as he responds to the aching question posed before him. Happiness is not the absence of sorrow, but the presence of awareness, which transforms sorrow into understanding and growth. Just as rain nourishes the earth, sorrow nourishes the soul when accepted. Reminding us of life's enduring impermanence, the stream carries burdens without protest. Its waters flowing freely regardless of what lies within its depths. Disciples observe the stream, its movement reminding them of their own lives, its lessons unfolding within their contemplative silence. Buddha continues, his teachings woven into the natural rhythm of the stream, a harmony between wisdom and the world. Once, I met a traveler who carried more than his belongings. Weighed down by regrets he could not relinquish, his journey stalled. His progress hindered, as his resistance turned the rivers he crossed into insurmountable barriers. To let be is to travel light, to release what no longer serves, to move forward without resistance or fear. The sunlight sparkles on the stream's surface, its movement unceasing, its flow capturing life's essence in its gentle currents. Disciples reflect deeply, their thoughts meandering like streams winding through valleys carved by time's relentless passage. Buddha's voice fades into the surrounding silence, leaving space for contemplation as nature whispers its truths along the banks. Another disciple, hesitant yet curious, asks, "Master, if desires lead us astray, how can they coexist with the harmony you describe?" Buddha's gaze remains fixed upon the water, his answer emerging softly, like mist rising from the cool morning air. Desires are the currents within the stream. They propel but must be guided, lest they lead us toward turbulent waters. To desire is human. To guide desire with mindfulness is divine, creating balance between longing and peace within oneself. The stream's flow reveals the need for balance, carrying all burdens equally, moving forward without conflict or hesitation. Disciples remain quiet, allowing the stream to carry their thoughts as Buddha's teachings settle within their hearts like ripples. Time flows onward, just as the stream, carrying the lessons shared along its winding path toward distant horizons. Leaves drift gently downstream, their movements capturing the essence of letting be. Mirroring life's journey through light and shadow, Buddha stands, gesturing toward the horizon, his presence resonating with the timeless wisdom carried through his teachings and experience. To let be is to live freely within impermanence, finding peace not in control but in understanding the river's flow. The disciples bow, their gratitude conveyed without words, as they follow Buddha's lead, walking along the stream's enduring path. Another day closes, leaving the stream's lessons woven into the hearts of those who walk beside its flowing waters. Another day begins, the sky illuminated by a soft, pale moonlight. As the disciples gather atop a silent mountain, Buddha sits in stillness, his presence like an unmoving flame, calm and unwavering despite the crisp mountain air. The disciples settle in a wide circle, their breath visible, their hearts expectant, waiting for the Master's guidance. "What must I do?" The Buddha looked at the man kindly. "Begin by examining what you truly need," he said. In silence, one discovers that the greatest truths are not spoken. They are revealed in the spaces between thoughts. Silence is not an absence but a presence, a fullness that embraces all things without judgment or separation. Once, in my wanderings, I met a merchant whose wealth could not ease the turmoil within his restless heart. He sought answers in noise, in the clamor of markets. Yet every attempt to find peace led to further discord. I invited him to sit in silence, to let be the chaos he tried so desperately to flee from. The silence overwhelmed him at first, but slowly, it became a mirror, reflecting the fears he tried to avoid. Letting be requires surrender, not defeat, an invitation to accept, not to escape, what lies within and around us. The disciples listen intently, their breaths synchronized as though they are one body moved by the rhythm of Buddha's voice. A disciple, restless in the quiet, asks, "Master, The silence magnifies my fears. How can I find peace within it? Buddha turns to him, his gaze steady, his response as gentle as the mountain breeze passing through pine branches. Fear grows in resistance. Silence does not create fear but unveils it, offering space to understand and dissolve its roots. To find peace in silence, observe fear without attachment, allowing it to pass. Just as clouds drift across the sky, Buddha points toward the horizon, where the first light of dawn begins to pierce the veil of lingering darkness. See how the light does not battle the dark. It arises naturally, filling spaces without conflict or resistance. Letting be within silence is like welcoming the dawn, a recognition that both light and darkness belong to the same world. Another disciple, hesitant, asks, "Master, what if the silence reveals truths too painful to accept?" Buddha nods gently, his voice soothing as he speaks, his words imbued with compassion. Like balm for aching hearts, painful truths are like jagged rocks hidden beneath the stream's surface. Silence allows them to emerge, sharp yet transformative. Letting be is not about denying pain. It is about embracing it, softening its edges with understanding and compassion. Pain reveals the depth of life's experience, its capacity for growth, teaching us to endure, to transform suffering into wisdom. As Buddha's teachings weave through the air, the disciples find themselves enveloped in the profound stillness of the mountain summit, alone. Birds call echoes in the distance, its sound a reminder that even silence is accompanied by subtle melodies. Buddha continues, his words flowing effortlessly, their cadence reflecting the natural rhythm of life. As steady as the mountain itself. Once, a monk asked me how to silence the mind's chatter, which he likened to an unrelenting storm. I told him, the mind, like the wind, cannot be forced to stillness, but it can be observed and understood. To let be is to watch the storm without becoming its prisoner, to remain anchored in awareness as it rages. The storm will subside, its fury replaced by clarity. But this cannot be forced. It can only be allowed. Buddha pauses, allowing the disciples to absorb the lessons, their reflections deepened by the unbroken harmony of the quiet dawn. The sun rises higher, casting golden light across the summit, its warmth spreading like gentle ripples through the gathered group. Another disciple asks, "Master, does silence hold all answers? Or do some questions require action to find resolution?" Buddha's eyes glimmer with understanding as he replies, his voice steady, each word deliberate, like stones placed on a path. Silence does not contain answers. It reveals the space in which answers are discovered, naturally, without force or expectation. Action flows from this space, informed not by impulse or anxiety, but by clarity born of stillness and reflection. To let be is to act with purpose, not haste, to move like the river guided by the contour of the earth. Disciples nod, their understanding deepening, their trust in the teachings growing like roots anchoring firmly in fertile ground. The mountain breeze whispers softly, weaving nature's melody into Buddha's voice. A chorus of harmony and timeless wisdom. Buddha rises, his presence commanding yet humble, a reminder that letting be is also a path of gentle strength. Silence invites us to live fully within each moment, to embrace all that arises without resistance. As life unfolds endlessly, the disciples bow, their gratitude unspoken but palpable, their hearts carrying the teachings as they descend from the sacred mountain. Another day concludes, but the silence continues, its echoes resonating within the disciples' souls, a guide on the journey ahead. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.